like every other year, 2015 was a good year for gaming. There are so many this year in particular that it's almost hard to put them into a list. As
2013 was quite stagnant, so was 2014, but 2015, usually it's the time we start reflecting on Game of the Year, but we still keep playing all these games that we missed out on.
So we've had a few really great blockbuster games that have been actually surprisingly good.
Games like Rocket League that I've put probably over 100 hours into without even realizing, just those little gems that have made this year very good.
And we've had a lot of nice, just normal games that have just, wasted a little bit of my time here and there, and they were just fun.
You had the locally made Expand, which did so much with its seemingly limited toolset.
You got some ones with some merit like Batman Arkham Knight or Fallout 4.
StarCraft 2, Legacy of the Void. I have high hopes for the future of both the competitive scene and the online scene, and a lot of the arcade stuff with that game as well.
And then you had Ori and the Blind Forest, which had some of the tightest mechanics and art style of this year.
Look, there are a lot of really great games released in 2015. This was hard to pick.
Honorable mentions go to Bloodborne.
Bloodborne. Well, it's one of the games where you really want to buy a PS4 just for this game. It's that good.
There's been a lot of huge releases, some of which I still haven't got around to finishing.
It looks amazing. It looks absolutely perfect. Well, maybe not perfect. It looks a little bit more messy than Dark Souls though.
The awesome stylings and the aesthetic, as well as the mechanically pleasing stylings of Bloodborne, made it to my third Game of the Year.
And oh, what's that over there? It's some kind of zombie thing? I think I can take it.
Great game, had a lot of fun with it.
Oh, there was another zombie behind the door.
The Transformers Devastation. I love Transformers, and yeah, I understand if no one else does, but I love them, and this was done in such a retro way that it just brought back nostalgia in spades.
For my second and my first, I'm kind of divided.
Maybe Metal Gear Solid 5, just for, I guess, the mechanics. Maybe not the game itself. I didn't have the best experience with the game, compared to Undertale, but the game mechanics just was really well done put.
There is no surprise that I absolutely adored this game from start to finish. I even played about 100 plus hours worth of it, so there's definitely some sort of addictive qualities there.
It ran silky smooth and looked beautiful, even on consoles. And this is a year where the console versions of games haven't been so grand.
Everything from the Fox engine, rendering beautifully detailed environments, as well as the characters and their expressions, really drove forth this amazing narrative tour de force.
In terms of storytelling, it did the usual Metal Gear Solid thing of nuclear proliferation, and it even had the gumption to subvert its own storytelling mechanics in its end. But ultimately, the thing that sticks with me most for Metal Gear Solid is just the mechanics of stealthing around, because the game gives you a true stealthing sandbox. You can approach missions any way you want. You can go around silently flattening everyone, or you can go in all guns blazing.
Along with the gameplay as well, where everything was about adaptability and everything from loadouts and being able to improvise right at the end, just in case things go really pear-shaped.
Not to mention the room for improvisation. I'm sure everyone is guaranteed to have their own story about how they accidentally engineered a solution to a major problem. Now, considering Hideo Kojima has now left Konami, this is going to be his lasting legacy, and you know what? I can't think of a better note to end the Metal Gear franchise on.
My Game of the Year would be Rise of the Tomb Raider, which came out on 360, which most people didn't realise. It was a lot like the previous one, but it was also a lot like the original ones. There was a lot more exploring, there's a lot more physics puzzles, but it was also a linear game, but with two major areas that were open world, which you can explore for hours, collecting salvage, making your weapons better, and learning skills.
So I've got to give my Game of the Year to Undertale.
The indie surprise from Toby Fox, this game is an absolute triumph of game design.
Maybe not the best game as per se, but the best experience I've had with the game. The great music that it had in the game just really drew me in. Story drew me in again even more, just made me connect with the characters. Then there was like the gameplay, which was inventive and just slightly different than everything else that I had played before.
So the game is this exceptional tale of humanity and inhumanity, along with this bullet hell retro aesthetic, which is absolutely pleasing to the eye, to the ears, and to your heart.
It was just a really, really nice experience. It was one of the games that literally made me feel like I shouldn't reset the game, because that literally resets all the characters and how it ends and everything. I'm just like, that's the first time I've had that kind of feeling. I didn't want to reset the game to play it again because I didn't want to break up the characters.
So be sure, I recommend you wholeheartedly to go check out Undertale.
Mind-blowing.
For me, the game of the year for 2015 is The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt.
No surprises here, my game of the year is Witcher 3 The Wild Hunt.
Now, there's been a lot of open world games released in 2015, and a lot of pretty good ones. You've got Just Cause 3, you've got Metal Gear Solid 5.
Well, it is possibly the best Western RPG that has been made, to my knowledge. I'm sure people would disagree with that, but I absolutely loved it.
The story is amazing, I love the characters, the game looks really nice, the music's incredible.
As well as that, they had the expansion Hearts of Stone, which was fantastic on its own. Another 10 plus hours gameplay in just the standalone story.
But to me, the way it really comes together is the world. It feels just alive, and I want to spend more even though it's kind of a sucky world, it kind of does a really good job of telling a story. Like, I loved going through Velen and just seeing how much of a shithole it was.
It's probably worth its own nomination, but if you can certainly get your hands on Witcher 3 this year and actually play all the way through it, it is one of the best narratives going around.
I love going through Novigrad because it reminded me that I really wanted this to be Dragon Age 2.
Great gameplay mechanics, lots of fun, lots of things to do.
And I love going for Skellige because, holy crap, it made me want to go play, actually give Skyrim a real serious shot. It was that great.
And I really can't wait to get back and play New Game Plus.